Welcome to the monthly copywriting clinic, where you get to learn tips and things about copywriting and also get real-time feedback on your projects. Man, this is going to be, well, I definitely won't be at the clinic next month in December. I might be back for January. We'll just kind of feel it out and see. But Agnieszka, you're going to still lead one up in December?
I might have to move it by a week, but I will have one in December.
Cool.
Maybe not. Depends. Think we're coming. I'm not sure when we're coming back. We're still deciding.
Cool.
Because we're going to Mariposa and then we're going to go to Nayarit for a few days.
Ah, nice.
Because Pius wants to see Mexico. So
Yeah, I'm so glad that people
staying
are
by
coming.
the ocean, staying by the ocean for a week would be nice.
Good, good. Well, let's get a temperature check of the room. So, Otto, you said you have copy for us to look at today?
That's right.
I'm sure you did. Who else? Who else came with something for us to check out today?
I don't have anything to share. I came with an idea of something I want to write. I don't know if that's appropriate to bring up. I don't know how this works. This was my first time at one of your events here.
Well, welcome. It's super casual. That's great. Yeah, we can talk about ideas.
Should I talk about that, or does someone else have something to share? Should we look at Autumn's?
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of getting a quick temperature check. Now, hi, Jill.
Hey, I am trying to join on my computer. I cannot get Circle on my computer, but I think I just sent myself the link. So I'm going to probably leave this and then join on my computer. I'll be right back.
Okay. Jill had mentioned in the comments of this event that she had some stuff. So.
All right. Hi again.
Hey.
I mostly just wanted to see you and have you stand up and show us your baby bump.
I'll just like lean back a little. Yeah, do a week from Sunday. So it's very
She can't stand up anymore, Jill.
Yeah, I know. I've just been thinking about you lately. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's got to be so soon. And I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
So,
yep, it is soon. And so you mentioned in the comments that you might have stuff for us to check out today.
I always have something to check out. I always love your feedback. But yeah, I mean, whoever wants to go can go. And
cool.
If you want to look at a project I'm working on, if there's time, we can do
that. Well, let's see. Why don't we chat? So is Seraphim your last name, David? Is David Seraphim?
I go by Seraphim.
Go by Seraphim. Thank you. So tell me a little bit about your idea. What are you thinking?
Okay, well, big picture, what I would like to learn how to do is write copy about these critical thinking classes that I teach for younger kids. It's just basically simple stuff, looking at contradictions and logical fallacies and things like that. And I use the Tuttle Twins books with some of that. And it's been challenging with a lot of parents don't even understand what critical thinking even is, or logical fallacies. Like, how do you, a lot of people have this sense that their kids need to be defended from all the propaganda and all the nonsense going on. But there's like some gap in communicating, like, how do I reach an audience of parents in a simple way that this is what your kids need to learn. And also, it helps if the parents can learn it too. So I'm trying to think of like how I can do that. I think that's a big topic. But for today, what I was interested in is that Stefano asked for some testimonials, and he's helped me a whole lot with video editing. And I wanted to write something kind of like there's the section on the forum where it's share your wins. So I got onto an interesting project because of things I learned in AUTONOMY and working on the vlog team. And then Stefano really helped me. I was able to go to him with like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And he just really made that all come together. So I would like to sort of share that with the community, but also in a testimonial form that Stefano could use to promote his film editing school. I'm not sure how to go about that. Or maybe that's too much, but it just, I guess just like a good testimonial.
So it doesn't matter what it is though, because my advice works for everything you just said, like all of it. So basically every piece of writing needs to have a goal, right? So like you're writing an email, your goal is to convey da, 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 right? That one thing. And if you start getting into like more than one thing, it can be a little bit muddled or not clear, right? So when you're writing, like what you said about your testimonial, you have a lot of concepts there that you're thinking about, right? So maybe that means you're going to write 2 separate paragraphs, like one that talks about your experience and one that talks about how Stefano helped you. So you can use that for a testimonial. I would advise not to go like waxing poetic about things, but just be very like, what do you want to accomplish in this paragraph and focus on that. And then, as all our students, use Hemingway to shorten and tighten your sentences. Hemingway app. It's an online tool, like free.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
It's really wonderful. I'll get the URL. We can put it in the chat. It's a really
I
great
use it.
app.
She
You can
uses
use.
it.
What?
I use it. You use it.
Yeah, you can use from your desktop. It determines readability. So, and it'll help tell you when certain sentences are getting too complicated and need to be rephrased or broken up, something to make it easier for the reader. You know, a general rule in copywriting is like the clearer you can and simpler you can make things for the person to read, the better. Like I always tell myself, you know, if as the reader, like if me or someone else has to read something, a sentence more than once to understand what's being conveyed, it needs to be rewritten. It needs, you know, clarity over cleverness every time. If you can accomplish both, that's great, but focus on clarity overall.
Yeah, I've never heard of that app. That's great. I could use help with that in general.
And so that was on the testimonial side, and you were also talking about excuse me, wanting to write some copy around your offering of teaching critical thinking.
Yes.
So, you know, a really common, let's see, but there's so many directions that we can go with this. I'm going to start with a really wonderful, very simple formula in copywriting. PAS, problem, agitation, solution. Conveying what is the problem that you're seeking to solve with your offering. Agitation is just kind of pushing that a little bit further, expanding on the problem. And then, you know, once that first part of the formula is a way to connect with your audience, let them know that that you understand them, understand the problems that they're having, and then you can present a solution. If you jump too early with solution, sometimes, you know, you just haven't made a connection yet. So problem, agitation, solution. And that can be in an email, that can be in a landing page where you're trying to, you know, put together your offer. There's different formulas that expand on all of this, but at its core, at its simplest form, PAS, problem, agitation, solution. Other thoughts coming up? We have more copywriters in the room.
One thing that popped to mind, Seraphim, is, you know, I relate immediately to what you're saying, because it's like, you need this good stuff, but how do I explain it? And there's something that I joined recently that I was like, I know that I need it, but the words, I was like, if you would have just explained it like this, you know, I would have been more open to it. And so I think that's kind of what you were trying to get at with the critical thinking. And actually, I did a logical fallacy group or class with my homeschool group, and it was kind of a captive audience. I just said, this is what I'm teaching, so I didn't have to really sell people on it. But I think you've taught this before already to kids, right, and families. So getting feedback from them, like, how would you describe it in your own words? What did you learn? And then what they tell you, use that to market it to other people who are probably looking for the same thing.
Yeah,
you know?
that's good. Yeah, thank you. I guess I should add, my niche has been kind of having these classes where there's also some parent, usually moms, like involved a little bit, not every kid's mom, but it's like a dynamic between other, like the parents and the kids all together.
Yeah,
So
because
it's almost like
because
you
you
need
know it up
proof.
here, and that might be a little bit intimidating. So like how you can explain what you're teaching and what you want to do for them in their language, that they'd be like, oh yeah, that actually is what we're looking for.
Yeah, and like some kind of, there's this element of, most of us weren't taught this when we were kids, so now we're all adults and hardly any of us know this. So having, and then an element of like reaching the parents, and then the parents can
Yeah.
run with that with their
And
kids.
homeschool parents love that element of like, they're not getting this in public school. You know, it's
Yeah,
a better, it's
right.
more in depth, you know, it's, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so you also have to make sure that you're writing for both the parents and the kids. And no one wakes up in the middle of the night, says, oh, I wish I had better critical thinking skills, right? Like they wake up in the middle of the night saying, oh, I wish I would outsmarted Johnny, and like, how come he's so quick and I can't get back at him, like that kind of, like, I don't know exactly. You'd have to go to your target audience, find out what their actual words are, right? Like, but I'm trying to think, when I was a kid, if I was like, oh, she said that thing and I didn't know how to respond. I wish I was like smarter so I could, something like that. For the kids and for the parents, it's kind of the same thing, but they may not know that they're lacking critical thinking. They may know that their kids, like, can't logic things out very well or something, you know what I mean? Like but there are certain words that they use to describe it, and those words change over like 10-20 years, so you have to literally ask them.
Yeah, now critical thinking means just making sure you're getting all the right corporate news propaganda and peer-reviewed sources. That's now critical thinking. So I realize I shouldn't even use that terminology. I like intellectual self-defense, like Richard says.
But does anybody wake up in the middle of the night saying, I wish I had more intellectual self-defense?
Probably
like those are not the words we use in our
But
own.
I think homeschool moms do, because we're always thinking about like, what curriculum, what can we do, what can we give them? So that is top of mind for homeschool moms. Like, I want to offer this
words,
thing.
Jill, not those
Yeah, I mean,
words.
intellectual.
Well, I know, but I'm
sounds
saying,
kind of, it's kind of,
well, I mean,
snooty,
I don't know.
but then mental, like, sounds kind of
I got it.
crazy. Like it's mental. I don't know what words to use.
What I would do is also look up there, what do people say on the Amazon reviews and stuff about fallacy detective and about I'm trying to think of the curriculum that I used. I think it was on like
Have you seen Logical Fallacy Monsters?
I use the Classical Academia. I mean, it doesn't have to be a product that you use, but look and see what people say about it and what they liked about it and what they didn't like about it. And then you can really find out kind of what they were looking for when they wanted to teach that to their kids.
That's a great idea.
I learned that from Kara.
It's good stuff. It's good when you hear it and it's obvious and you're just like, oh, duh, why didn't I think of that? I mean,
well, it's like, we're limited by our own perspectives and our own thinkings as the writers or as the creators of our products that we're trying to sell. Where this is why audience research is so important, of going out there and finding reviews, finding comment threads, finding like anywhere that your target market is talking about what you're offering, or something similar, so that you can get the exact language and vernacular that they're using, so that way you can speak back to them in their own language.
I know Facebook is not the greatest, but there's still a ton of homeschool groups and parenting groups on Facebook that you can find what they're looking for. And then use that to frame your offer.
Yeah, you're looking for like something like, I wish my kid da 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 da, or I wish they would teach da 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 da. You're looking for those kind of sentences.
Right.
And the tricky thing is that even if you had your own kids, when you were thinking about it, the vocabulary might have been different. Vernacular, that we use.
Yeah. I was coming from an academic sort of, I don't know. I just, yeah,
What do you like?
it was interesting. It was just from interacting with different parents, I learned a lot. I was coming from a perspective where I wasn't reaching a lot of people.
Yeah, academia doesn't reach a lot of people. It's not built for that.
Right.
Like literally, it's built to alienate.
Right.
That's true.
I was just saying in the body language teaching class this morning, I was younger and I would like stand on stage to present a topic. My head would go up, right? Like this. And I didn't know until I watched myself on video. But that's that arrogance that like, I'm teaching you something, that kind of thing. I mean, in writing, it would come up different, but it's the same thing. It's that you don't want to do that. You want to be on the level with the people. You want to be one of them, not because that's academia right there.
Yeah, that's true.
You can still see it in my old videos if you want to look.
That's some body language right there, right?
From 2010. But yeah, and I would be like, hey, how's it going? So nice to see you all. I'm so glad to be here. Let me tell you this. And then my head would go up. Like as soon as I started going into the content of what I was saying, I don't know why. But I think it's something taught to us, right? We have to be smarter or better or show that we're smart. It's not the case. It's a lie.
So Seraphim, what ideas are kind of bubbling in your mind after this conversation?
Oh, I'm thinking about following all this advice, right? Looking at the reviews, talking to the parents of my students. Definitely, yeah, it's just hitting home more how important the word choice is, and just understand that I don't have that worked out. I'm not sure. I mean, I have thought about it and talked to some people about it, but I needed to get really down to just basics, like what words am I going to use? Because sometimes I'll present, oh, it's critical thinking, and then I realize people perceive that in a weird way, and then I'll talk about logic or philosophy, or I'll say contradictions, logical fallacies. Like none of that language is appropriate, even though it's as far as like selling it to someone. And I'm not sure what the word. I need to have a consistent word for this or phrase for what I'm doing.
Well, I'm curious, and I maybe Agnieszka and Jill, maybe you guys disagree with me on this, but I wonder if there could be a way of still using some of that language, but with clarifying exactly what you mean by those words, how you define critical thinking, because it is kind of this ambiguous term that's getting thrown around that has all these different meanings to it. And so I don't know exactly how that would look or where that would be, but I don't want you to get too hung up on having to throw a bunch of words away to the point where it's going to block you up, you know what I mean? And just stop everything.
I guess I think for the first impression I give people, it should be I feel like I haven't struck the phrase to encompass generally what I'm doing, but what you're saying does make sense. I mean, I can't just throw out talking about logic or logical fallacies. It needs to be, once I get someone more engaged, then I can have my definitions. And it's just that I haven't really clarified. I bounce around so much because I don't know how to communicate about this.
Well, maybe that would be a really cool exercise for you, would be to almost like make your own glossary in a way of, taking some of these terms and like, as, simply and as humanly as possible, how you would define these terms, and just using that as your own internal exercise. And that could maybe even help then all of a sudden start to shape some of the language that you use in marketing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I'm just thinking too, that the more you research the homeschooling world, which I'm not sure, it sounds like you're already pretty familiar with it, but within the different niches of homeschooling, even there's different ways you would talk to them. I mean, parents who are already familiar with classical education or have a very strict, stringent, like I'm doing this because I'm raising the smartest kids on the planet, you would talk to them very differently than somebody who's more eclectic and like, oh, we just want to like explore the world together kind of thing. So but you find out like, why would somebody want their kid to study critical thinking? And go from there? Like, is it because they want them to be more well-rounded? Is it because they don't want them to fall prey to, you know, the mind control? Is it because they think they have to check off a box and they need this elective to graduate? You know, so like why somebody would want their kid to take this class would play a big role in how you present it.
Okay, I have 3 thoughts to share. So first one, look into the Halo strategy. I think that there's other copywriting clinics where we explain that in detail. So if you look at replays. Number 2, I see a huge opportunity here with Ms. Jensen for you, Seraphim, because she's got access to all these homeschooling parents. And if you wrote a smart survey that questioned them, they would give you their words for free just by answering your questions, right? So then you could just say, hey, Jill, would you do me a favor and submit this survey to your parents? Because I'm like, you know, and then you can even give them a bonus or something, or like, I'll give them this critical thinking trifecta for kids handout, whatever, as a gift if they fill out the survey or something like that. You know what I mean? And then they would give you their own words. And the third thing is what Kara said about redefining the words. I would do it in this way. I would do benefits in human words, like what they think about when they're waking up in the middle of the night. And then I would do features, where you redefine your own terms. Like the features would be the critical thinking trifecta or whatever. But the benefits would be you'll be raising the smartest kids on the planet. And then you could also address it from the bullying standpoint, because if you can outsmart a bully, they will never attack you, right? So if you can outlogic a bully, I've done that as a child, right? So I know it's possible. If you can outlogic a bully, then you don't need to use self-defense. That is self-defense, like mental kung fu, like the other guys call it.
Yeah, I think, do you want your kid to be able to defend their stance, their worldview, their, you know, why they're living their life a little differently, and explain it to people? But
yeah.
Oh no, I defended myself from 5 girls that wanted to beat me up just by screwing with their brains, and I was 17. That was the start of my evil empire.
Seraphim and everybody else in the room, I'm putting something in the chat. This is a resource sheet that I put together a while ago, like previous seasons ago. But this is, this will have replay links, like to the YouTube links of all of the like especially good clinics that we did when we were first starting out. Agnieszka and I were doing a lot more like lessons, like really organized lessons. And so really nice introduction to copywriting. So, then we got into like audience research and, you know, methods of doing that. Now there's, you know, there's of course different ways now with all the ChatGPT and all that stuff, but this is all before all the AI stuff kind of came out. But this could give some more context, and it's all free resources for you guys. And then there's some handouts in here from when we did this, where, for example, we were talking about the Halo strategy. In one of these, which one is, I haven't looked in here in a while. In one of these, there will be a spreadsheet for, and in fact, I wonder if it's actually down in here. So we have some different tools. There's that Hemingway app, some different guides. You know, some of these might be a little outdated. This is from a while back, but oh, here we go. Like audience research. So I have a spreadsheet available that you can, in an open shared folder, that there's a template that you can copy, which is intended to capture audience research information as you're doing it. So like definitely the clinic kind of that we did on this goes through this in a little bit more detail, but this is where you can start to categorize what are the hopes and dreams that you're coming across, the positives, what are the pains and fears people are experiencing, barriers, uncertainties, unexpected insights. Hey, look, there's a spot for a glossary. You could you could even start putting your glossary right in there. So this is based off of Sabri Subi's method and his book Sell Like Crazy, which you can also get for free. You can get, I'm pretty sure he still offers it for free online. Maybe you got to pay for shipping, but this is based off of some of his methods that are really, really powerful. So anyways, this is a resource. All you guys can,
I want to address.
What?
On that page, before you scroll, go back. Okay, right here. See this answer the public link there? That's a key link for you guys, because I've been working on 2 different SEO teams lately. And I asked them about the tools that predict trends and stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, these are highly paid tools, da, 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 da. And I said, oh, you know what? I use this one. What do you think of it? And then I showed them Answer the Public, and they were like, wow, that's a really good tool. That really does, like, it gives you a lot of the information that the other tool, paid tools, does, but it's free. You can do like 3 searches for free, and then you log in for free to 3 more searches. But it
This
should
will tell you if you put a topic, you put a keyword, anything in here, this is going to tell you all of the questions, everything, anybody that's doing a search on the internet around the topic or keyword you put in here, you're going to see all of it. So all of the things that people are asking about, searching about, like it'll all come up in here. It's an amazing tool.
Wow.
And it gives you numbers too. How many people ask that question? Like how many people want to know about critical thinking versus making their kids smarter? You know, you can see the comparison.
And so for free, you get like 3 free searches a day. And you know, otherwise you can get like a paid account, but so you know, use your
No, when I log in with my account and then my Google account and then Erwin's Google account, and I get 9, and I've never
go. There you go. So really great tools in here. I'd almost forgotten that I put this together. This is like from, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I think. But so there's lots of different stuff in here. Again, maybe some stuff is probably a little outdated, but there's a lot of good stuff. And I linked to the course that I had put together, which also I think is starting to get a little bit outdated, but that's also available for, you know, a discount for autonomy students. But otherwise, again, there's all of this great clinic videos that are available for free.
Thank you. Yeah, I will check all those out. I don't want AI writing copy for me, so I don't know if that's what you're talking about when you're talking about outdated. I don't know.
I have quite an I'm trying to warm up to it in some regards, but I've got my own reservations and stuff about all the AI tools. But
so it's good to use AI for certain tasks, and I have been, but whenever you write copy, like client-facing copy, like maybe not so much internal client-facing copy, like manuals or whatever, as long as it sounds okay, that would be okay. But any kind of like internet, like website or email, I would run it through, is this AI kind of tool? Because if it's obviously AI and everybody can tell that you've, like, I don't know, I would not want people to say that I wrote my website with AI. It's kind of embarrassing. I mean, I use it like if I say I have these 10 topics and I want to talk for 2 hours and break it down for me, it'll break down the hours, the minutes usually is correct. Sometimes it's wrong, but you know. Actually, my boss did this really interesting conversation. My watercolor painting boss, he did a very interesting conversation with AI. He said, I forget the word was, but it was something like, how many letters L are there in the word prince? And it like swore up and down that there's 1 letter L in the word print. It wasn't the word prince, but it was something like that. There was no letter L in the word. And then it goes, no, I'm sure that my boss goes to AI, I'm sure there's 2 letters L in that word. And the AI goes, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Definitely there's 2 letters N, and it spells the word out without an L. And it says, I can totally see that there's 2 letter L's in it. It was just a crazy conversation. And yeah, so he got AI to say that there were 2 letter L's in a word that had no L in it. And it was so obvious. It even spelled it out, and then it still said that there was, and it kept going back and forth between 2 and 1, but it never said that there was no letter L in the word, which was interesting.
Well, I don't even trust my spell check. You know what I mean? My spell checker, I don't even trust that. So
you can't. It's AI too.
Yeah.
But it's good to do an out, like when I was really, really tired and I had to do an email, I would have it write me an email and then I'll just replace sentence because it'll give me all the concepts I need to talk about. Like it will let out an email saying, talk about this and this and this, it would, and then I would just rewrite it.
Yeah, I think it like at times, I'll admit it can be nice for when you just need like when you have a blank page and you're also feeling blank and you just need a starting place, like a shitty first draft. That's what I think it can be used for.
Oh, and the other thing I learned about AI, and this is a huge thing, if you use the same chat window and you continue ask it questions in the same chat window, it gets better at getting what you want. But if you open a new chat window every time, it's going to give you shitty answers. And I've tested it where I opened a new chat window, asked it the same question as in 3 other chats. And depending on the history of the chat, it had a better answer. Like it remembers all your previous preferences for that chat window.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wouldn't let it. I'm afraid it's going to make me stupid if I rely on it too much, and then it's messing things up. But anyway,
Well, it's going to lie to you, that's for sure. But it may make you smarter, because as long as you know that this asshole is going to lie to you, you can predict, you can, you can be on it.
Well, how do you guys feel about shifting focus?
Yes, thank you. That was all great.
Yeah, good. Otto, I was going to shift over to you, and then I also just saw you unmute, so maybe you had something you wanted to contribute to our conversation.
Yeah, I was going to admit that I used AI to create my document that I'm about to share. However, I totally agree that it was just terrible. I was pretty annoyed. Seems like the AI had a bad day today, and it wasn't really providing me any copy that I liked. So I ended up rewriting a lot of stuff, and it was just, but I still use it to kind of bounce off ideas. So I'm kind of, I guess, just it'd be better to have an actual human to kind of bounce off ideas, but at least I have the AI, so I can kind of type it like, I'm looking to do this, and these are my goals, I want to do this, and then it gives a response, and it inspires me or gives me some thought about something else, and one thing leads to another, and then I read it, see the answer, and then I pick up a few words, or some way it gives me idea, like, hey, maybe this is a way to say this. Or so usually I end up changing it or telling it exactly like you need to do it like this, and then it then it gives something decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, today it's just, I felt like it was working better before, but today, even though I felt like I was giving it all the details, like this is my target audience and this is the thing, and give me some copy, and the copy is just so bad that I don't even want to.
Did you use a new
none
chat
of it.
window?
Yeah, I was using a new chat window.
That's your issue right there. Go back to the chat window when it was doing all right, and it's going to do better. Ask it the same questions.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna share my screen, and what this is about is about the online community building course. And what I went ahead and did, like my thought here was that I went to the end outcome, but I'm kind of visioning that I want to get to, like the course maybe someday next year. And what is that going to look like? Like, what is my offer? Like, what is the landing page going to say about this course? And then I'm going to try to go backwards to figure out how do I get all these things there. And as a stepping stone, I'm doing the course for the autonomy community, which is not going to be, I mean, I might not include all of this that is here, but well, I will see what I do, but I just wanted to go to I try to picture like the perfect course and situation that I'm trying to get to. And I began by starting to make this framework, and I made target audience and then pain points, and based on those, then I did the landing page copy, and I can share this link. So you have it. There's the chat. I don't find the chat now because I'm there sharing window. How do I get to the chat? Oh, there. So the target audience. So I'm trying to find some way to say that I want to kind of do these freedom-minded people, like build this course and community for freedom-minded people who are trying to make some change, something positive in the world. And then there's 3 groups the change makers or the kind of activists that are kind of driven by some cause, like they maybe see some injustice in the world, or there's something they want to drive some awareness. Let us say they want to drive awareness about vaccine injuries, and they want to launch a community about that, and some sort of grassroots stuff. So people like that, and then the second group is about starting entrepreneurs, which I believe a lot of the autonomy community members are belonging to. Like they're looking to start some sort of business. They might have an idea, and then through this course they could learn the power of community and how to maybe launch a community-led business, a community in mind, and how the community could benefit their offering. And then the third group is a small business that already has some product out there, but they might not have a community. And then they will be learning how and if they could be using the power of a community to enhance their product or the offering, to provide more value. Or perhaps they already have some sort of community effort ongoing, and they want to take the course to get to develop deeper into this subject. Then I have the pain points, and these pain points come from my short discussions with various people in autonomy, as I was explaining what community building is about, and then kind of getting the questions back. So yeah, it's a small sample, but this is what I have right now. So the first obstacle I have faced is people are just not sure what it is even is. What do I mean with community building? Yeah, just they are not sure what it is. And if they don't know what it is, then I guess it's hard to say anything about it. Then the second thing is that they feel overwhelmed. Let's say they're trying to do something, and then
really quick, Otto, before you go to the second one, it's just coming to me is, so okay, like with number one, the foundational knowledge, what do you mean by community building? I'm almost wondering, instead of it's more like you might need to answer the question of, why do they need a community in the first place? What's the why? That's going to be the driver more than the what is going to be the why. Why do they need this? And that's for all your different categories, like thinking about what it, before they know, all right, what do you actually mean by community building? Why should they care? What's in it? Why do they need this?
Yeah. Good point. And that's what I need to kind of get across.
And
sure.
One question I had about the different categories is, how does being an aspiring entrepreneur versus a business owner, like, is the community about business or is it about freedom? Because if it's about freedom, then it's like autonomy kind of, it doesn't matter what you do, everybody's rallying around this main point. But if I'm a small business owner wanting community, then I want a community that helps my business, like that. So I guess I was just curious, like why you decided those three categories.
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's right. Like there's the two things. Like of course, if you have business, then you do care about the business, and that's fine. So I'm thinking this course is mainly for entrepreneurs trying to launch a business and then trying to build a model that is also profitable. And what I would be saying to these change makers is that if you want to have change in the world and you want to build something, then you also need to have profitable business. Like even if it's non-profit, it has to make money.
That's what I was wondering. Is this like a freedom cell where you're kind of bonding around, like, how do we survive? Because based on these common beliefs, or is it how do we have a business in this environment and hold strong to our common values?
Yeah, I think my approach is to more like the business approach, and then just my thesis is that there needs to be some sort of
Because you might want to
This is
talk about like
structure.
building the parallel economy and the gray market and what's coming, and
Mhm.
how can you position your business to be part of that network or part of that community if it's about business. If it's just about like freedom cells, then it doesn't really matter what you do. You're just the type of person who would want to be like in a freedom community. I don't know. I don't know if I'm on track with that or not, but that was just
Well,
like,
Yeah.
and well, and I know and it's mostly because like Otto and I have talked about this, you know, a bit before, so you can like correct me if I'm wrong, Otto, but it's kind of more like, if I remember correctly, like, you know, these people are motivated, they want community, they want that experience, but one of the problems of why these things fail is often because there is no business strategy behind it. There is no way for the people organizing it to stay afloat and make an income. And that's what you're trying to help solve more. Is there being a business structure to building these communities?
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I believe needs to happen, like for any to be really sustaining and live for the test of time, like that cannot just be based on voluntary effort with a shoe-sized budget, but it has to have some sort of a way that is gonna sustain itself, stand with both feet, and provide some support for the members, and especially for the key people who are, so they can put their full-time effort into it. So I think I believe that there has to be like this financial structure, well, however that's going to look like, but that there has to be some actual money involved.
We're experiencing that with autonomy right now, where, you know, as autonomy community has grown, and then realizing like, you know, oh, as much as like we want this community to be something free, like, hey, there actually does need to come a point where, you know, $10 a month from everybody would be really, really beneficial to help keep Richard and Lisa afloat, to keep this infrastructure going, because the more that we grow, the more expenses there are in keeping it going. So, I mean, you know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm questioning the word community here, Otto, because the word community has so many negative connotations at this point. And, you know, like even the conscious communities in Mexico, the permaculture communities, the HOA, like the condo association, right? All of those are types of communities, but that's not what you mean. So I wonder if there's a way to describe it that would be more closer to what you actually mean. Like, I know that's the correct term. What you're building is community, but just because it's correct doesn't mean it brings up the right kind of image for the reader.
That's an interesting point.
well, and if you're a business owner, you're spending money on this, you want more than just community. Like, how does it help you make money? So there are so many business communities too. I mean, the buzzword is mastermind, inner circle, growth plans, you know, like a business owner that would buy into this because it's going to benefit their business in some way. Like, they're not just joining a social club, right?
Yeah. So yeah, so if I don't use the word community, then
that's going to be a long
what would it
journey,
be?
Otto. We're not going to come up with it right now. So you would,
but that's a good point. I like it.
You would do the halo strategy for your target market, right? You'd find what words they use on a regular basis. You'd find the words that describe what you want to present the closest from what they're already using, what the words they're already using, and then you'd build the name out of that.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that, but perhaps you're right. Like maybe the word community is a limiting word, because what I'm looking to do is maybe more.
To think about too is for people who are starting a business, for entrepreneurs, like your time and money is so valuable because you're wearing all the hats, you're doing everything. So why would you spend the time and the money to join a group?
What's in it for me?
Yeah. So like I said, a lot of people are starting a business. They're like, well, I don't have time to just like hang out and join a community, but I have time to once a week get advice that's going to, point me in the right direction or give me the strategies for XYZ, a mastermind type of thing, or something like that. I don't know if that's what you had in mind, but just thinking through it like that, like maybe people who are in this point in their entrepreneurial journey don't have the time or money for what they might see as a luxury. So how is this a necessity?
Yeah, and what I have in mind, like my vision for this program or course is that I'm gonna help to kind of clarify for them like what is their vision, purpose, like goal, like what are they looking to do, and then provide some sort of templates that help them iron out their plan into paper, like what is the business plan or the plan for the community, like what are they looking to do, and then provide some maybe templates or blueprints, so something like practical. I'm looking to like how do I provide them with some practical stuff that get them going.
You're talking to people who are trying to build a community. Did I misunderstand that? Okay.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I thought you were providing like this community for them to join to learn how to. You want to talk to people. Sorry, Carousel.
Well, it would also be a community.
I misunderstood that part. I'm so sorry. You're
no worries, but
it
would also include a community aspect. So they join the course just like in Autonomy. Then they also join the community, which is like an add-on benefit that they are able to talk with like-minded people who are also trying to launch a business and do all of that.
So I would ask that right at the beginning, like, is community building your business, or does your business rely on having a strong community, or
maybe, I don't know if it's, I don't know what's the word, like, I guess it's, could also talk about entrepreneurs, but I'm specifically interested in this type of entrepreneurship where we would be like in more like a horizontal effort in a community effort, trying to build something or launch something where people can come in and contribute. That makes sense. So it's not like, I don't know, I'm not here to help some entrepreneur who's just looking to launch some, I don't know, some gadget or some physical product with no community aspects. So I feel like the community is still kind of at the core of the type of thing I'm trying to build.
Does this already exist? Like, what's an example of?
Well, there's I guess a hot word called community-led business. It's so it's more like how to put the community into the product. And I guess like, well, maybe Autonomy is a good example of that. Like the community is just providing so much value that it's almost like the product.
Well, that's where, and I know we've talked about this, Otto, and so I don't want to like completely, just come back to what I'm anchored to in my memory, but that, a big part of how you're going to hook people with this is connecting to their vision of what, regardless of if they're change makers, entrepreneurs, small business, there's a vision there of having community for some reason or another. And so being able to somehow connect with that. And I'm curious, like, my curiosities in my head now are just thinking like, all right, between something like change makers and a business, I'm always wondering like, are they still connected though? Like, could they still be like the type of people that you're going to be speaking to, even if they're a business, they're still have some kind of vision. They still have something that they're wanting to bring people together for. I mean, unless we're talking about like weird corporate structures or something, but I don't think that even your target audience is for visionaries and leaders. So, thinking about, as much as I like that you're putting so much thought into your different categories of people, but thinking about what do all of them have in common? What do all three
Mm.
of those categories have in common, and what can you
Well,
speak to with
in
that?
my mind, it's something that that they understand the kind of the state of the world, like we are in autonomy, and we are trying to build some sort of solution.
Yeah.
So what Richard has is a solution. It's a product. It's a business, but it's a solution, and anything is basically a solution that it's helping the world in some way. So I want to help these people who want to build a product, who want to build a business, who's doing some aspect, like they have a niche in something. And maybe it's homeschooling, or maybe it's yeah, anything. And
Yeah.
and there's yeah, for example, especially for something like homeschooling, I'm sure there's a big community aspect in that, like people want to connect with other parents and share the best practices and hear how they're doing and how they're dealing with issues. And
Interesting. Okay, now I'm so sorry that before I misunderstood. I am thinking now like a ski club is a client that I work for, and trying to build that community is a huge piece of their business, right? Because they want people to feel connected to the community so that they'll go on the trips and they'll pay the membership fees. And is that kind of what you're thinking? Like you have this business and then building out the community around it that could support your business and the cause that you believe in? Am I on the right track now?
yeah, like I think there are multiple ways to maybe like there could be like membership fees.
Mhm.
Like that's one way, I guess, to finance a community. But yeah, I think you're right track.
Like building a community around your product that gets them excited, that helps their business too, obviously.
Yeah, like let's say you have some sort of home, like online education platform for children who are being homeschooled. Then that's a product, right? But when you add in the community aspect, then you're able to connect the parents with each other, with other parents, and that's going to provide like huge amount of value.
Of course, yeah.
And it's
That's
going
a
to
lot
go
of the
kind of
curriculum that
hand
I
in
use
hand.
each curriculum kind of has its whole own community and its own platform, like rabid fans who buy into that philosophy and that idea and have questions and
So I guess in any of these businesses, I would be trying to understand like what would be the synergy between adding a community to the core product or service.
Okay.
And then one aspect is that I don't have that much experience, but I'm just very passionate about finding the structures for actually running also like organizations that are more horizontal and not totally like traditional hierarchical structures, but more like, because in a way, like also workplaces are communities.
Would you be
So
giving them
then
options for if they wanted to do like an in-person community versus an online community, a local community versus international?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter in my experience or my thoughts. It doesn't really matter. Like the basic principles are the same as far as I know. But I guess I would be specifically focusing on any type of online community building, because that's what I know most about. Like I don't know about local communities. I guess it could present other challenges or something that I'm not aware of. So I guess my angle is mostly from the online side, but I don't see why not. Why it couldn't also, you couldn't also build like a local community.
I'm just asking all these questions because I'm curious about like what you're going to teach them, like about the platforms that they could host a community on, or how do you engage a community? Like, is that what you're going for? Like, how could they foster the community, or the technical aspects of having one?
Maybe I can bring my course outline to kind of glance through what I have.
Because
But
building community is hard, like especially an online community where people are kind of they don't know each other and
Yeah, like my thesis, I guess, is this course is that it comes down to that I'm going to be telling them that you need to be a leader, and then I need to explain what is a leader. And for you to be a leader, you need to have a vision. You have some mission. You are going somewhere, and you are just telling the world that you are going there. And most people don't care and they don't follow you, but then some people do. So then those are your followers, and they come for the journey, and you're a leader because other people choose to follow you. And you are trying to build this community, and initially you are just going to have few people, and that's the start. So it's a start very small, and that's kind of
You can encourage
what
them through the process of this is where it starts and this is how you can, like, don't give up.
yeah.
Here's how you can make it grow.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm trying to tell them that it's to not get overwhelmed, that try to, like, it's not that complicated. And it's just like, well, I guess launching any business is, I mean, it's quite a bit of work and complicated, but still, like, I'm just trying to give as much as guidance or resources and information as possible, and then get rid of the misconceptions perhaps that people might have about how to launch a community and what it takes, and then also I'm yeah, I want to uncover the
Well, I just really quick
mhm.
to what you just said, people who are resistant to a community. Do you mean the people that would be in the community, or business owners would be resistant about starting a community?
Did I say resistant? I forgot now what I said.
Well, I think you were saying there's
I think I didn't mean that.
misconceptions around community and why you would need one. So the business owners would wonder why they need a community, or the people
Well,
who
maybe
bring into
that's,
their community would maybe not want to be part of a community.
yeah, maybe I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that community people just think of huge communities, and that how they go from nothing to huge, and then trying to launch something large and big all at once, build this huge platform, a huge marketing campaign, and then launch this community. But that's not how you do it. So it's the opposite way. You need to start small and have just few people, and then go from there, go slow and steady in natural way. So I think, yeah, so in the course I will be clarifying all these possible misconceptions on how to launch a community.
On that stuff you can probably tease out in your marketing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just asking questions because it's always good for me, like, just talking out and answering the questions helps so much, especially when it's your own product and you're like, well, I already know the answers, but it's hard sometimes to articulate. So sorry, I'm being nosy.
No problem.
But
yeah, good questions.
That is because if you're trying to convince the business owners that they need community, then you're already fighting an uphill battle selling salad dressing to people who don't eat salad. Like, if they don't want community, they don't think they need it, then they're not going to buy a course that convinces them that they need community. They already have to want the community and believe it's a valuable part of their business before they would purchase something that would show them how to do it.
Yeah. Maybe in a case where they already are looking to launch a community and they're just looking for more information.
That's kind of what I'm thinking is the people who already are craving community and craving that person. And one of your big hooks is that you're going to show them not only how to start and build a community, but also how to have it generate some income. So, because that's a huge thing that would be holding, especially a change maker, like holding the average person back. Oh my gosh, I want this so much. I'm craving this, with people, but how I can't afford to just run this thing. So how do you not only make it self-sustaining, but actually potentially even make a profit? Right? That's a big part of what you're offering in your course, if I remember correctly, right, Otto?
Yeah, it's about that mindset, I guess, which is the first modules. I would be more focusing on like what are you looking to do, like how to get there, what needs to be your mindset, and telling that, hey, like, well, you are a leader and you need to have a strong vision, and let's clarify what is your purpose. And that's something I'm passionate about, trying to help people understand their purpose and their vision. And hopefully I already have some ideas about some exercises, some weekly exercises I would ask them to do to kind of pull out their purpose.
Maybe
And
that first module should almost be your lead magnet, like a free webinar or something that you do over, like trying to get people to buy into why they need this in the first place. And then they like it, and then they.
So
Yes.
I was listening to this guru conference this morning. I was listening to the replays, and it's about marketing and email marketing and stuff. And the one that they did like a whole hour-long talk on loyalty programs. Apparently, loyalty programs are the hottest thing among entrepreneurs, the thing that everybody wants, but it's really expensive to maintain. What if you somehow married the idea of a loyalty program in a community and brought it together in a way that doesn't need apps, it doesn't need this, it doesn't need that, it doesn't need special codes, but it's like an organic community, you know what I mean?
That's also interesting. I just honestly don't know what is even loyalty programs.
You know, like when you have a card or like I like your favorite store and you get extra points or a bonus or something if you use that special loyalty card. That's a loyalty program, but loyalty as a concept in business is a lot bigger concept than just those little cards, right? They're super automated. But what business owners look for is growing loyalty among their followers in order to continue having business and having people refer business to them, right? So that idea of loyalty is what they're already searching for, whereas the idea of community is something that they're not searching for, or maybe even find a little cringy because of all the other stories of bad experiences of people in community. You know what I mean? Like it depends what wording they're already.
And I think there's also maybe two different ways to understand the community. In this autonomy circle, I think many people just think about community in this local, how do you call them? Well, these communities where people try to make a commune, basically. But I think there's also another aspect, like my understanding is that among businesses, the idea of a community has been booming, and the whole industry kind of was, well, this field of community building was kind of coming from maybe from the software world initially, like these Linux and these people just coming together, creating all this value. And now all sort of businesses are hiring all sort of this fancy titles, like community officers and all of these people in these big businesses trying to find ways to kind of turn their customers into their loyal supporters. So I guess that's where the loyalty comes in. But that's what they're trying to do with these community buildings with big businesses. Like they're also trying to.
But you're talking about
launch a community.
Corporate level, and corporate level is different than the target market you've listed here, right? The wording and the verbiage or the vernacular in the corporate level would be different than in small business. So find the words mean the same thing in small business.
Yeah, I wouldn't be targeting corporate businesses, but yeah, the smaller ones. And I guess what unites them that they, like, I would like to work with people who have some sort of strong vision and purpose, and it's something higher than just I want to make money. Like, because like why do you want to make money? Because money is not the end, it's the means. So where do you want to go? Like, you need money there to get there, but where do you want to go? And if someone just comes to me like, hey, I just want to make a business because I want to make money, then yeah, that's not my target audience. I don't know if that helps, but
almost wondering if I keep looking at these different categories, and I just keep wondering if I don't even know what I want to say. If like it's not that a small business owner wouldn't be interested in community, but as far as it being specifically a target audience, like I'm just wondering, I keep coming back to more of the visionary or the change maker, which could encompass any one of these, but that being the mentality or the spirit that you try to speak to. I guess I'm just, because the more that we talk about small businesses and business, it does seem to kind of leak into that, like, profit or, not quite the corporate level, but I just keep wondering, all right, what's an example of a small business in this sense that is craving community? And if that also falls in line with a change maker or a visionary or that kind of leader, then I almost wonder about separating these out at all. It's just a curiosity.
So what you're saying that the small business is kind of separate, or like it's like I also feel like it's not the main, like that's maybe if I would drop something off, I would drop that off. It's just hard to say. Like I could imagine that I don't know, let's just say someone from Autonomy has launched a business and they have something and they're trying to make a difference, but then they don't have a community. Could that be a case? In which case I think it would come into play, but yeah, maybe it would be better if I just focus on these first two categories and not specifically try to talk to any small business.
That's my thinking. I'd be curious what other people out there, might have to say. But, the more that we talk about this, to me, it just seems like you're speaking more to the vision, you're speaking to the spirit, something like you want them to be able to, to make money or make a business out of this so that they can achieve their higher purpose, higher goals. So speaking more to that, because the more that we get into the business stuff, it just seems to almost be muddying that vision that you have. And that's my observation and opinion, and I could totally be off base, but those are my thoughts.
No, I agree, and I like that what you just said, like achieve higher vision and purpose. Like maybe that should be part of this core message that I'm trying to get to. Like I'm trying to connect with people who have this sense that they have some sort of a higher purpose, and that this program is for them to get clarity on what it is, and then understand that to get there they cannot just in isolation achieve that. Like nothing is built, you cannot alone build anything. So you need to have a group of people, of like-minded people, to get you there, to work together with, and that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm just using the word community, but I don't even know, maybe that's not the right word. Maybe it's just a team, but yeah, I don't know.
Almost maybe like we were talking with Seraphim, maybe a good practice exercise for you would be to do some writing on what community means to you and how you see that word and how you define that.
Yeah.
You don't need, and with like and okay, you need the people, you can't do it alone. You also need to be able to generate income for your community so it doesn't die, but that's not the end goal. The end goal isn't to make the money. The money is the tool to help elevating and getting to that higher purpose. That's my understanding from what we've talked about.
Yeah, this has already helped me to kind of help me to think about this thing, and I think there's a lot more thinking, but I'm feeling I'm on to something. So yeah, big thanks. I think we're probably running out of time, but
Well, this is good
if
because I know that you know, as far as you know how to, you know the skills, like you know how to teach this, you know what needs to go in your course. Now it's about communicating it and communicating it to the right people in the right way.
yeah.
And my side note is don't let getting hung up on the word community hold you back from offering this to Autonomy at your set date.
Yeah. Because in a way, I think I cannot avoid using the word community because that, yeah, but maybe there's something more. I have to think about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do
Well,
some
I
more
think
research also.
and answering those questions too, because I'm still not clear. Are you going to teach them how to create a paid community, or you're teaching them how to run a free Telegram or Facebook community, or you're showing them how to set up a circle
no.
community that you pay for, but that's free for them? Or like what, when Agnieszka was bringing up the loyalty programs, that reminded me like, oh, are you just like trying to create like a rabid fan base that loves your business? Or are you teaching them how to create membership communities?
Yeah, definitely communities that is a business. So certain large businesses that include community element. So I'm not looking to help someone run a free Facebook group. That's
So the
and I think no one
community,
would pay for my course to run a free Facebook group.
well, you'd
either.
be surprised. Actually, there are courses about that because your free Facebook group leads to your other offers. So there is value in that. But so I guess I'm still not clear. Are you teaching them how to create a community where their members would pay to be part of their community? Like it's a subscription. I pay a monthly fee. I log on. Like to me, that's different.
Most likely,
than like I consider myself part of a lot of different communities, but I don't pay to be part of them.
Well, I'm not sure if it's necessary. Like if there's some sort of whatever the business model is, like there's some money-making aspect, then it's fine, and the community is just there to provide more value. Like you said, maybe they are running these free Facebook groups because that's valuable for them. But still, like
could start a Facebook
they are
group for homeschoolers and then present his offer to them. You know, like start cultivating that community and then have his offers. So, but that's different to me than a couple of communities that I pay to be a part of, and there's services that go along with that.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the latter, but I don't see why the course couldn't help someone like even run a Facebook group and manage a community like that. That is what the course is about: is how to manage a community as well, like the best practices and the theory behind it. So it's for both, but I guess what my true long-term desire is to understand this also about the Bob Polowski was working on, like these ideas of horizontal structures and people with groups of 8, what he was calling them, and yeah, to me these are really fascinating concepts. So that's what I like to explore, and it's not just about, I guess it's also about like how to build a business that is like a community. So I'm going to give an example. Like there's a book called Horizontal Organizations, or what was it called anyway. But there's an example from Netherlands where they have an elder care business. So they are not using the word community, but they describe these businesses don't have a real name. People call them different terms. So there's no standard. But he was calling them horizontal organizations, and in this business, the business was organized into like small cells. So there was cells of nurses taking care of specific neighborhoods or elderly people, and they formed their own team that was autonomous, and the the higher, whatever, let's say, corporate structure was there to kind of just support them with accounting and legal stuff and all of that. But the team was able to make decisions about what needed to be done, and they had like the full control, and they were just working together in these small teams, maybe let's say teams of 8 people, and they were highly effective, and they grew, and there were multiple of these elder care teams. I don't know how the business is doing today, or yeah, but at least in the book they discussed that it was growing, and a lot of people wanted to get their services because they were more like humane. They were not dying in some giant hospital structure. So this is like an example in my mind that also like what I'm after. I say so you are creating a business that but it's kind of like a community. So you are uniting people in the profession of elder care and giving them the power to do their job, and they're kind of, in a way, they are running their own community, and then these units would come together at least once a year to share best practices and kind of exchange stories. They would have some sort of events like the corporate events, so called, but yeah, it wasn't like, it was totally different structure than this pyramid structure that everyone is used to. And yeah, so that interests me, and yeah, but again, so I see that there's some overlap with community and this type of structure, and I'm just trying to get the clarity myself on what it is and how to describe it, and try it out. But yeah.
Well, it's really interesting, and like you said, it's important for people to find their people and connect, right? So
yeah. All right. Well, I think I have taken a lot of time, so I'm gonna stop sharing.
Oh, thanks, Otto. I think that was just a good, yeah, brainstorming, exploratory exercise.
Yeah.
I'll do all
Thanks.
that. Thank you.
Hey, can I ask your guys' opinion about something?
Of course.
I made some graphics yesterday, and I have 6 of the small ones, and I think 6 of the big ones, but I have to choose 4 or eliminate 2 of the small ones and choose 1 of the big ones. Do you want to see my graphics really quick? It's for the AUTONOMY presentation for, let me just open. It's for the AUTONOMY for hanging on my fence when I'm at Anarchapulco and Mariposa. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, oops, this thing. Okay. Okay, so that's number 1. I'll show you guys. I have to move you.
is this to advertise AUTONOMY?
Yeah, so there's going to be one big banner to advertise AUTONOMY, and then there's going to be a bunch of these little ones in different spots. So, but I have 6 little ones, and I need to eliminate 2. So tell me, what are your 2 least favorites? That's number 3. That's number 4. That's number 5. And this is number 6. Was that too fast?
No, I thought that was good enough for me to take them out. I like the first 2 and the last one. Those are my favorites.
You like the one with Richard in it?
I do like that one. I like be
That's
excellent
like
to each
one
other. I like the
graphic.
picture.
And then you like this one?
I like that. And
And
I
you
like that one.
yeah.
So you have 3. We still have to eliminate 2. This.
I like the
See, I
second
like
one.
this one. So I think we're gonna end up. Oh, what about the master key one though? This one's the weakest one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Okay, we're gonna get rid of that one.
So what's the banner at?
The big banner.
Or what was this for?
This is for my fans for Anarcapulco.
Mm.
I like all of them, but if somebody didn't know what autonomy was and they had to get the benefit in one sentence, like which one actually conveys what it is? Because I love the be excellent to each other, but that if somebody's just seeing that, it doesn't explain
That was my thought too.
what autonomy is.
It's true.
Yeah.
So these ones you guys are saying, explain it. You're right. Although, what about this one? Oh, you guys like this one though, right?
I do. I like it less after hearing what Jill said, because I mean, that gives some sense of it. What was the one right before that we were just looking at? That to me gives me more information about what autonomy is.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't like it at first, but now it's like, well, that communicates more.
So we're eliminating this one in the end, or the be excellent?
That one is just hard because I have to read it like 3 times to get it.
Okay,
I don't know if it's the layout.
Mhm.
probably. It's
It's
probably
just, it's at a glance, it's just not, I still keep reading it and I'm like, did I read that right?
All right. So we have 4. And so I think this is my favorite. I'm gonna try to make it smaller. How can I make it smaller? Oh my goodness. It won't zoom out anymore. Can you guys see the whole thing?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. So I think this is my favorite of the banners. And I think that particularly because it's in Acapulco, right? That will be more poignant, but I'll show you guys the rest so you can tell me if I'm wrong. It's just the photos changing, nothing else is changing.
Mm.
Oh, I like the breaking the chains. That one's kind of cool.
Oh, you like that one? I think that one's my least favorite one.
Yeah, I like that one too. Because I just don't think of autonomy as me being outside smiling at the sun, like, or I don't
like
this is not autonomy to you.
yeah.
know.
Well, it feels fake.
It's too
Uh-huh.
stock imagey.
Yeah.
It's
And it's
exactly what
also
it is.
not what we do. I mean, unless you go to Pork Fest or something, like you're not hanging out with other. I mean, you are, the community is important, but I don't know. I just don't visualize it as we're all staring at a book outside.
So this one's the one going to be hanging on my fence, is it?
That's my favorite.
I feel like the tagline should be something about like breaking free or something though, like unlocking or breaking.
No, now we're changing.
I like the everything you know for lifelong success for the smaller, and then something in this one that relates to that visual of breaking free.
See, now you complicate.
Unchain or something. Unchain your potential.
I think you can't go wrong. How's that?
I think the image conveys a lot. And then especially for Anarcapulco and just the word autonomy, everything. Like I do think that it flows all together. It says a lot without using a whole lot of words.
Mm-hmm.
So you like the slogan the way it is? Well, see, the thing is, yeah, now that I think about it, if we make the slogan about the chain, we're going to have less on the image, less of a full picture. Because right now we're breaking chains, we have lifelong success, we have autonomy. There's 3 different concepts that are sort of coming together in a way.
I think the image says a lot without using any words. Oh.
Poor guy's got scars on his wrists. He's been doing that chain thing a lot. All right. I do like, and I like the rays. I think it'll look cool hanging up with that sun coming down. All right. Thank you.
That's exciting.
What if you just say get autonomy, and that's also the URL, so you could just make that whole thing big and bold, get autonomy.
Like get autonomy, everything you need for lifelong success. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Because it's like I don't know. I was thinking like breaking the chains that sends a message, and then it's like, yeah, gets autonomy, and then so it will make, like, if you are able to get that URL to kind of .info/ignite, what if that would be very big? Or can they just click something, or how do they?
There's
find
the QR
way?
code right next to it in the corner.
Okay.
Hang on. Oh, there you guys.
I thought it was an idea.
Little QR code. It's not gonna be little because the banner is over 1 meter long, so the QR code is gonna. I didn't want to make it bigger than your cell phone. It was like you have to be able to take a photo close up. This is actually a reworking of another banner that somebody else made, and I just took the same design. I kind of changed it a little bit with because it's a lot bigger, but I did think that was a pretty clean design. I don't know, maybe Tara did this one. It was done a long time ago.
No, I like it. I think that like I said, I think the image could phase a lot, and then the tagline is it's part of the autonomy. It's the autonomy tagline. So, I mean, I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think I like it. I'm wondering why in this one they had that the word autonomy in white instead of gold, though. But I don't know if it would add if it was in gold. What do you guys think?
I like the white.
I do too.
All right. All right, that concludes this little intermission. Thank you. Jill, you had something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just texting while we were talking that basically scrapped everything that I've written on this, but
Why? The clinic has been informative?
no, I was just talking to the person I'm working together on this, and she's like, actually, I think the webpage should focus on, she kind of changed direction. So it kind of makes what I have done moot, but we could still look at it if you want.
For you, if you want.
Now that I grilled Otto, it's time to put my
No, Otto can grill you.
how to turn tables. Let's see.
Otto's tired. He's not at his best. It's almost midnight, or it's after midnight.
Okay, good. He'll be too tired to give me a hard time. What am I trying to go here? Okay, so I'll set up the offer. Can you guys see? I moved my Zoom stuff around. So Julie is she has sold and sold and exited multiple businesses. She now has like $600 million of assets under management and teaches people how to invest in long-term legacy wealth. Well, in childcare. So this was Montessori School Networks that she started all wrong. She made these mistakes, learned how to find what private equity buyers want, how to increase your profit, increase your revenue, take those, invest it into wealth building assets, be able to exit at a certain EBITDA. So then you can invest in like the 3 pillars of real estate that will eliminate your tax and blah, blah, blah. So anyhow, she has a few different programs. She's actually, she sold out of her, this is a $30,000 coaching program. So, but she didn't have a website. She didn't have anything. So the marketing person I'm working with, she's done all the branding, the logo. Julie's also writing a book and then wants her investment arm to be part of this. So basically her coaching group is called Wealth Masters. This was going to be for a site where she was going to have 3 different offers. So it was trying to speak to like be a general homepage, and then you could go to separate landing pages for the different offers. Turns out that this coaching group is her only offer for right now. So, but aside from that, now that it's kind of full and we're going to see how this first cohort goes, I think we're changing this website just to talk about all of her credibility instead of trying to sell the group. So anyhow, all of
Well,
this is probably irrelevant.
the
Shortly.
number one thing that I noticed is that it's not the language I speak when I'm in the middle of the night. Like, I don't ever think that I need expert guidance or clear, concise coaching. I never think I'm ready to scale or I need an exclusive cohort. Like, these are just really, like, really high level words that are not like.
That is what they want though. They have to be doing $1 million plus in revenue, and they just can't like get past that and increase their net worth. And so Julie wanted the clear, concise in there. She's like, I don't want any bullshit about mindset. I don't want any.
That's what you need to write. Wealth Masters. If you have $1 million in revenue and you can't get past that barrier,
yes. So that's in a separate landing page. So yes, but it's people that want their net worth. They're like making good income, but they don't have high enough net worth to actually invest in these assets. So they want to multiply their net worth. They want passive income. They want legacy wealth, and they don't want to spend their lifetime doing it. They want to do it.
Babe, you didn't say they want clear, concise coaching. You said they want multiply their wealth, but that's not what
but okay, yeah, I take that. I just wanted to bring it up front that they're signing up for a coaching program. So in earlier drafts, I had put the coaching later, and somebody was like, well, I didn't know this was a coaching program. So
just flip that sentence on its head. Go, when you've reached the wealth plateau, because that's basically what it is, a wealth plateau, right? You get to $1 million, you can't get past it. Those people are still human. They still have to use emotions to make a coaching or a buying decision, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have, you still use your emotional body to make decisions, right? Like, unless you're super emerald, but that's such like percentage of the world, right? Like less than 10%.
Yep.
So tell them where they're at, like because what I was taught in marketing is that when I'm looking at a website, I need to see myself looking back at me, right? My own problems, my own shortcomings. So if I'm like in the middle of the night going, shit, I just can't get past that $1 million, for fuck's sakes, what am I gonna do? That $1 million, it's just like this barrier. Every time I get past it, something happens and eats my money, right? That's my frustration. That's my feeling about it, right? So then reflect that feeling back to me and say, when you just can't get past that barrier, here's what this lady, she's the wealth master, and she'll teach you how to master your own wealth, right? And then you can come in with the coaching. Like feel that frustration.
Yes. Yep. I'm thinking that, because the point of the coaching is that you are going to find a way. You can't get past that barrier until you can generate more income, till you can, yes, I see it. I'm going to go really quick.
Because, and this is for Kara too, no one wakes up in the middle of the night yearning for coaching.
Well, yes and no, because by the time people get to, that's kind of the hard thing, is that she advertises, this is an original version, but people do come because that she gets requests for this, and then she consults, but she's making it more of a program just for 6 people at a time. So people do come to her asking for this, and then she wants a website and stuff to refer them to. So this one,
notice what she's calling these people. She's calling them elite entrepreneurs.
Well,
so she's differentiating between the small fry and the elite entrepreneur over $1 million.
Yes.
Right. So instantly I know it's for me because I'm the elite. Right.
Yep. I had to switch that because this was going to be for women in the childcare space. I'm trying to go to see if I have oh shoot. Oh, it's going to be the work with me.
Yeah.
So by the time they say, yes, I want this, which the homepage doesn't do a great job of doing, then here's where you get to who's it for.
It needs a hook though above this bit. Like,
Yeah.
yes, of course, people who are over $1 million, they're not looking to make money to monetize their dreams. They're looking to build a legacy, because $1 million will pretty much monetize most dreams that you have, right? Or like making $1 million a year is what she's talking about. And then so they really identify with that elite entrepreneur, right? That makes them feel good. Like, and so they have to see themselves in this, right? So I would say a hook at the top above this part, where it goes, where basically is the sentence that's a mirror for me, for that elite entrepreneur who's a woman and maybe has crested her million and can't crest past it or something like that.
Yes. So the goal of this is how they can structure their business if outside equity is looking at it and say it's like a family business and you're paying XYZ, but I'm not going to explain this right, because my mind is, I'm like not a business person, but there's all these little things like when you are operating your business and your network that handicap you from that scale and growth. And so people sometimes will go shop around and be like, oh, I want to sell my business, so I'm just going to get an offer. Well, then they see your financials and they value it at a certain rate, where you haven't done all these things that she knows how to teach you how to do. So it's structured for a certain valuation. And then also the revenue, since she's in Montessori, but she can do this with other businesses too. Like, how do you add other revenue streams that you didn't even realize were available? How do you add karate classes? How do you, and I'm not going to say this on the website because she doesn't want to give all that away, but how do you do all those things that increase your revenue so that you have this amount of money that you then invest into these assets that eliminate your tax? And yeah, so
have you done a halo strategy on this?
yep.
And what did they, like, what words are they using?
It's people that want, that, like you said, that are frustrated, and I'm wondering what version I'm showing the wrong version, but yes, you're right, that are frustrated, that they feel like they're making a good living, but it's not true wealth. It's not like legacy wealth. And how do you translate that? How do you take your business, you're working so hard, but how do you translate it so that it's passive? You're not having to earn an active income anymore. You can live passively and tax-free and invest in this legacy wealth strategy. So I guess, how can I say all of that at the beginning? I'm going to go back to, so yeah, it's been
I'm just going to ask my AI a question about can you put that next step thing back? I want to.
So once you go to,
or the legacy.
oops, sorry, it's jumping all over. Or do you want me to, oh, you're asking AI? Are you looking, I'm going to go somewhere else and see if this, what you think about.
Yeah, I'm good.
Where am I? Julie. Sorry, you guys get to watch my screen. Julie. Let me not see that. My slow computer. I'm going to see another page if there is. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
So check this out. So
here's another web page we can look at. Okay, go ahead, Agnieszka. Sorry.
So I just plugged this into my AI. Women over 1 million reached a plateau, need to build a legacy, and this is what it came up with. So there's a bunch of them, but breaking the glass ceiling, strategies for women entrepreneurs, but we don't want to say glass ceiling, so whatever. The power of purpose, how to build a legacy that outlasts your business. And I really like that one, the power of purpose, because it's aligned with coaching, right? Redefining success, and you can also mix and match, right? So redefining success, how to build a legacy that outlasts your business. She has redefining success, why building a legacy matters more than revenue. The next one is reignite your passion, how to overcome plateaus and achieve your entrepreneurial dreams. The next one is the art, I can send it all to you. The art of legacy building, lessons from successful entrepreneurs. Building a business that lasts, strategies for women entrepreneurs who want to make an impact, right? Impact is a key word for women entrepreneurs, especially the higher, like the higher up ones.
Yes. And she wanted to stay, she redirected away from women because she had a pharmacist, a male, join her program. So she's like, I don't want it to just be women. So
but we can just change women to entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw them in the chat here. Copy and paste that. Well, oh, my message is too long. What? Why? Okay.
Oh, this is the wrong page. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time while I'm in the middle of, I'm going to stop my share real quick and see if I can find what I need. But that helps. Yes. The headline and the hook is the hardest, has been the hardest part. And so hearing what you said about that is like, helps me to rethink. Sorry, I'm looking.
There's my 20. Like, so I always get the AI to write me 20 headlines, and then I kind of mix and match, and then I come up with my own headline based on its 20, but it just gives me all the words in one spot that I don't have to like thesaurus it up.
Okay, sorry, I lost this meeting on my screen. There we are. So let's see, this page isn't on her website yet, but I'm just going to pull this about page up and see what you think about how the problem sounds here and if any of this needs to be pulled into the home page. You'd think by now I would know how to use Zoom, but for whatever reason, it keeps tripping me up.
I really kind of like the number 3 though, Jill, the power of purpose, how to build a legacy that outlasts your business. Or really, I really like the second half of it. I don't know if I like the power of purpose so much, but how to build a legacy that outlasts your business is a good one for those people. Right, Kara? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Kara's like, you used AI. I don't really want to talk to you.
No, you're fine. No, that's totally not it. I think my brain's just kind of powering down.
Oh, well.
So they want the time, money, lifestyle, freedom, increase. Well, you guys can read that.
See, again, all the bold ones, I would like my own thoughts and dreams from the middle of the night to come out at me there. Like specific issues may not be so spot on, but like keeping you up at night, maybe more, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like more green language.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Doing the bios is really hard for me too. Kara, maybe that's another, here we go. Another topic for a whole week is doing how to do a good bio. That
You want to present that in December, Jill?
What's that?
Go and research bios and present that in December. I'll sit by you and work with you.
That's true. You won't be around.
While you guys were talking, John Klizek, he's been teaching some classes here. He just sent me his bio, a new bio he just wrote up.
They're not easy.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to take her whole story and condense it down into a couple paragraphs, and it's so hard for me to cut out the details or know exactly which details are also going to be like creating her persona, because she's just starting her brand. So what's the story? What's her narrative going to be? And that's
But it's the
challenging.
same, babe. It's the same. So basically you take what keeps the person up at night, and then in the bio, you write about what keeps them up at night and how she solves it. You don't write about her. They don't care about her. They don't care
Exactly.
about her at all. They just care about themselves.
Mhm.
So same with John, for you, Seraphim. They don't care about John. They care about what John can do for them.
Mhm.
So all the bio is like how I can support you, how I've done this before, how I have this experience, how these people say I've done it well, you know, just things like that.
Yeah.
And make sure the bio has one purpose, just like every piece of writing you do. Don't try to put the social proof and the this and the that in the bio. Put like a specific bio and then put the social proof and then put the da, 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 da. You know what I mean? Separate it all. Because if you try to put too many concepts in one thing, it's going to be confusing.
Okay, really quick then. I've done this, I did it a couple different ways. This one's longer because that's the about page. Sorry. I'm gonna go.
Oh my goodness.
And then you guys can all go to sleep. So it talks about why they need
We've been teaching since 11.
to avoid costly mistakes. And then it goes into her story, but it's hard to cut it.
So this right there, until the word, now my family is living a richer life and building da 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 da, from hi, I'm Julie to I imagine, that's a good short bio. That's a pretty good short bio, especially if it's on the website. She has her picture right on it. It's not the same bio you'd send like an interviewer, but for the website.
Yeah, no.
Right, then below that, you would do social proof. So like, these are what their students are saying, or Julie.
Yes, and on the, she's
Going
got
to
her
her
testimonials, I think pretty much right below this section on the website.
Yeah, and then she's got her call to action if you're ready to leverage.
Okay.
I would switch the last two paragraphs. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. I think I moved that from somewhere else. All right. Well, I know you're tired. Thank you guys.
No, it's all good.
Maybe next month when this is closer to being done, when we've clarified things a little bit.
You can teach us all you
Kara,
learned.
you bring your baby on next month?
I don't think I won't be here next month, but January,
so we can
January,
meet him.
I'll at least tune in January for sure. I can't guarantee December. We'll see.
Of course not. No.
You're gonna be
Understandable.
breastfeeding during the things, like with a blankie.
Right.
You don't have to talk. You just have to hold the baby up so we can see him.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe I can pop in for a couple minutes. Oh, all right, guys.
What
Well,
day
this
is
has
this
been lovely.
scheduled for the next one, Kara?
It's not on the calendar, so it can, I mean, we tentatively in the past did the second Friday. So it just, but that's hasn't really been like officially announced for quite a while. So honestly, it's whatever works for you. And then you can put it in the autonomy events.
Can you put it on the 15th?
You want me to do it? Because I'm not gonna be hosting.
Oh,
And you would need to use your own Zoom link.
I'll talk to Jerry.
Okay.
That's the person to talk to, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I'll be back. Thank you. That was very helpful and interesting seeing everyone else's projects. So thank you.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Keep us posted, Kara.
I will.
So,
Yeah, you better get on that class chat the minute the baby's born.
Maybe not the minute, but sometime shortly after, yes. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Yeah.
You
Thank
too.
you,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
You
Thank
guys.
Bye bye.